You keep calling it low self-esteem, but really, it's a trust issue. You don't believe you'll show up for yourself.
Here's where I belong now, high above the fear and doubt. So no.
Low self-worth starts when we repeatedly break promises that we make to ourselves, when we're people-pleasing, when we shrink ourselves to make others feel good about themselves, when we're waiting for approval to do anything and everything, and when we don't believe that we're capable without evidence to prove it. I am somebody who is guilty of all of these. Everything that I just mentioned, I am currently working on. It's hard. It's really hard, especially when you come from very, very low self-esteem, very, very low self-worth, and a very extreme and unhealthy amount of people-pleasing. It's really hard to kick those habits. When it comes to the promises I have been making for myself, I tend to make big ones. I thought they were small enough to achieve, but for some reason I guess they must require a large amount of effort because there's a reason why I'm not reaching them. There's a reason why I keep breaking them and I keep not showing up for myself. So what I started to do is break them down into smaller wins. Small promises equals small wins. And that equals more confidence. That equals more trust in yourself, more belief in yourself that you can do things. Even if it's small, you can make it happen. You become so accustomed to that feeling that not showing up for yourself will feel weird. I started changing the way I wanted to do things, like the way I decided what I was going to do. As I have worked through a lot of issues, a lot of inner work, I realized that I was doing a lot of things to be recognized, a lot of things to be appreciated, and not in the way where I wanted to be praised, but in the way where I didn't want to be invisible anymore. I wanted people to see that I was valuable, that I was an asset, that I was worth having around. Even though I understand that that should never define my value, which is why I'm working on all of this with you guys. It was more or less like I just felt so invisible that people couldn't see that I was worth having around. There's so much evidence that I am such a good person, that my heart's in the right place. I just do good because it's in my heart to do. I love being happy and I love making others happy. I love making others feel good about themselves. What that would cause me to do is burnout, because it goes back into me not feeling like I'm reliable, me not feeling like I'm worthy, all these different things. But if I could have poured into myself, and then whatever I had left, I could pour into others if I wanted to. When I could show up, when I had the opportunity, the energy, the time to show up, I could show up in my best form because I poured into myself and I made sure I was good. And then wherever I showed up, I was there. I was present. Another thing that has been helping me throughout this process is journaling. I know it sounds so cliche, and you're all probably so sick of hearing it from all the other creators, but they're not lying. There are so many ways you can do journaling. There's journal prompts, there's scripting, there's, I think it's like scribble writing. You find the method that works for you and it'll change your life. Currently, my methods are prompts, and not just any prompts. For me personally, I tend to like journal prompts that go deep. I like to be asked some really deep questions that will make me sit here in silence for 2 hours. I don't like to be bird fed my trauma. I like to go in right away. I'm a fighter. I have been my whole life. Healing my trauma is not something I'm going to take in sips. We're going to chug that thing. And then I also like scripting. And my version of scripting is, it's actually a brain dump. Once or twice a month where I just fill up as many pages as I need to with just crap. Just everything that's taking space in my head. And at some point, almost every single time I've done this, feelings, thoughts come out that reveal something about myself that either I need to work on, I've grown out of, or a memory I haven't been able to reach or I haven't thought of in years, and it's just hitting me. Journaling is very powerful, and I feel like a lot more people need to do it. Like, I know writing can be tedious. Maybe it hurts after a while, but there are other ways to do it. There's voice notes. There's an AI tool where you speak and it transcripts it for you. Like, there's a way to do it. Don't feel limited in having to get a notebook and journaling that way. Find your way, but do it, because oh my gosh, it helps all of us in some way. We all need to vent. We all need to get things off our chest. Might as well find your customizable way to do it. There's a lot of easy ways that you can start showing up for yourself. Like I said, I'm starting with a lot of small wins, a lot of small promises to myself, a lot of small goals. The more you get used to achieving things, the easier it will be to have the effort to achieve them, to create the time, make the time to achieve them, and to just be excited about achieving them. It's not going to feel like a lot of work because you're already used to achieving goals. I would say choose one thing to show up for daily. It could be meditation. It could be stretching for 10 minutes. It could be a small little workout. It could be going on a walk. Anything that's going to help you start implementing that habit and that feeling of showing up for yourself, of not breaking your promises, of becoming 1% better every day. A lot of people think it's the big changes that add up. Yeah. But you know what? The big changes actually are the small changes piled up. Stop looking for validation. Don't let it be something that is required in order for you to feel good about yourself. Let it be an addition to your life. Let it be a pleasant surprise. Because you already know that you're amazing. You already know that you're beautiful. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You already know that you're smart. You don't need anybody to tell you that. Tell yourself that. Affirmations, corny, cringy, however you may feel, but they work. Trust yourself enough to try. I know that if you try and have to try and have to try and have to try again, it'll feel a lot like you're failing. You're not. You fail when you stop trying. If you never try, you'll never know. I have that on my wall. I don't know if you can see it. You don't hate yourself. You're just hurt. But you can start healing that today with one decision. Start trusting yourself.
Here is where I belong.